Good morning and welcome back to our session. So this is our channel. Previously, we discussed about integral and zero exponent. So we will be continuing our topic for today. So let's proceed with the slides, okay? Let's move. Let's see. Okay, so for now, we will be having our continuation with the topics that we have discussed last time around with regard to the exponent. This time, we will be talking about rational exponents. Okay? So what do you mean by rational exponents and how to solve rational exponents, how to convert rational exponents. We will be talking about that dito po sa ating session na to. And kung mapapansin po natin yung subtitle natin, this is how to convert rational exponents into radical. So we will be talking about rational exponent and also a part of radical. We have here now separate topic about radicals, but still we will be talking about how to convert rational exponent to radicals and vice versa. Which means if the given will be radicals, we will be able to convert it also to rational exponent. So let's move with our aim for today. At the end of the session, this lecture, you should be able to, we have only three aims for today. Number one is to define rational exponents. So what do you mean by rational exponents? Number two is apply the laws of exponents in solving rational exponents. So we have discussed last time around the laws of exponents, and the same laws will be applied in our topic for today. And how are we going to do that? Mamaya po sa ating pong discussion. And last, we have to convert rational exponents into radicals and vice versa. So when I talk about vice versa, from radicals, we will be converting it back to rational exponents. Okay? So I'm hoping and I'm praying that all these three aims that we have here now will be achieved, will be realized upon completion of this video lecture. Okay? Now, let's start our session with the question, what do you mean by rational exponent? Rational exponent is also known as the fractional exponent. Fractional from the word fraction, which means the exponent that we will be having now contains fraction. These are expressions with exponents that are rational numbers instead of integers like in the integral exponent. If you can still recall, the previous lesson that we have here now about integral and zero exponent, we have here now the whole number as our exponent. Alright? To make it clear, more clear for us, siguro, let's have here now an example. So this is our given, x and raised to 2/3. Now, focus on the exponent. What do we see? We have here now a fraction. And this is an example of rational exponent. Comparing it to the previous given that we have dun po sa ating lesson, these are the given x squared and x raised to -3. If you notice these exponents, we have here now whole numbers. It doesn't matter if we have here now positive or negative. We have here now whole numbers. And these are examples of integral exponent. Last but not the least, we have here now the zero exponent. Comparing this, mabilis lang po nating makikilala, rational exponent has an exponent that is fraction. Whether this fraction is positive or negative, as long as the exponent is fraction, it belongs to rational exponent. So I'm hoping I'm making it clear for everybody para mamaya pag-identify po natin mas mabilis. Now, with working with rational exponents, we have to have a basic understanding about fractions. Dahil magdetail po tayo sa mga fractions, balikan lang po natin. And yung review natin about operations on fractions will be focused more dun po sa gagamitin natin dito sa rational exponent. The first one will be the addition and subtraction of fractions. How do we do that? Fractions can only be added or subtracted if they are similar. Only be added or subtracted. May i-add mo lang or may subtract yung fractions if they are similar. Now, what do we mean by similar? Similar fractions are fractions having the same denominator. So if we have here now fractions, we have to focus on the denominator. If the fractions that we are comparing have the same denominator, then it belongs to similar fractions. Let's have here now an example. 3 over 5 and 1 over 5. These are called the similar fractions. In comparison, para makita po natin, if you will try to understand your teachers more, lahat, karamihan sa teachers natin, they are trying to compare things para mas makita ninyo. So if we have here now another given, that is 1/4 and 2 over 5, kung papansinin po natin, the denominators are not the same. And these are called dissimilar fractions. So I hope you're getting the gist of it. When we try to talk about similar fractions, parehas yung denominator. When we try to talk about dissimilar fractions, magkaiba yung denominator natin. In similar fractions, we simply add or subtract the numerator and copy the common denominator. So ito, subukan natin. Kung i-add daw natin, ang sabi, or subtract, ito sa add, we simply copy the common denominator, which is 5, and we add the numerator, that is 3 plus 1 is equal to 4. In like manner, if we will be subtracting this, 3 over 5 minus 1 over 5, so we simply copy the common denominator, which is 5, and then proceed with the operation dun po sa numerator natin, which is 3 minus 1. That will give us a 2. So these are the answers. Pag in-add natin 4 over 5, pag sinubtract natin 2/5 or 2 over 5. Okay? Now, in the similar fractions, we have to first get the LCD to make it similar. Then proceed with the operation, just like what we have done sa similar fractions. So, we have to get the LCD. Kung mapansin po ninyo, we have the previous video about rational, what do you call this one? Quadratic equation. Okay? So dito rin po, kailangan din natin yung LCD. Ito po yung ating dissimilar fraction. Let's try to dissect this one para mas maintindihan po natin. 1/4 and 2/5. These are the dissimilar fractions. How do we get the LCD? Focus on the denominator, get the prime factors, and line it up to get the LCD. Prime factors natin, 4 is 2 times 2. 5 is equal to 5 times 1. So 4 is 2 times 2. Ito. Yung 5 natin, hindi ko na inilalagay yung 1. Kasi ito, that times 1. Kung napansin natin, nakahahanay. Ito, dahil walang kaparehas dito sa unang factor, wala tayong katapat. Pero kung sakali ito, naging 10, so 5 times 2, may katapat itong isang 2. You can have the review dun sa previous videos po natin. Okay? And then, bring down natin yung walang katapat. 2, 2, 5, multiply 20. Which means, this one, we have the LCD at 20. Ayan yung LCD po natin. So, if we have here now the LCD, all we have to do now is to solve. Plus or minus, 1/4. So, ang denominator natin, 20. Now, some of us will ask, saan po nanggaling yung 5 at saka yung 8? So for us to get this numerator, we simply divide this dun sa ating denominator and then multiply sa numerator. So halimbawa, 20 times 4 is 5 times 1, that will give you 5. 20 divided by 5, that is 4 times 2, we come up with 8. So plus or minus. Halimbawa, nag-plus tayo, 5 plus 8, 13 over 20. So sa plus yun. What if we have here now subtraction? So 5 minus 8, mas malaki yung 8, so 3, negative yung sign. negative 3 over 20. So again, this is just a review, and this review will be beneficial in answering rational exponents. Okay? Now, multiplying fractions. Unlike addition or subtraction of fractions, it does not matter if the fractions are similar or dissimilar. Dun sa ating pag-a-add or pag-subtract ng fractions, it is imperative that we have to convert it to become similar fractions. Now, if we are multiplying, it doesn't matter kung similar or dissimilar yung given po sa atin. As long as you have checked that the fractions are in its lowest term, you can multiply numerator to numerator and denominator to denominator. Alright, let's try to have an example. 3 over 5 times 10 over 12. Focus muna tayo individually sa fraction. If you can simplify, lowest term. 3 over 5 is already in the lowest term, so we simply copy it down. 10 and 12, we can still simplify it in the lowest term. Both are divisible by 2, which means 10 divided by 2, we come up with 5. 12 divided by 2, we come up with 6. So we can cross it out and write the values. There we go. So 3 over 5 times 5 over 6. Now, after we simplify each fractions individually, my suggestion is for you to check it pa-cross. So 5 at saka 5, 3 at saka 6. So kung pwede pa tayong mag-simplify ng pa-cross, we do it. Para at least yung final answer natin will be in its simplest form. Hindi na tayo kakabahan kung kailangan pa ba natin siyang i-simplify. Okay? So 3 and 6, that will give us 1 and 2. Yung 5 and 5, we can eliminate that also. We will be left with 1 and 1. With that, we can now proceed sa pagmumultiply. Sabi dito, numerator to numerator, denominator to denominator. So the numerator here becomes 1 times 1, we have here now 1. 1 times 2 is 2, ang denominator natin. So our final answer will be 1/2. So again, these three operations will be used in rational exponent. That's the reason why this, among the operations on fractions, this three is the only one that I discussed dito po sa ating lesson for today. Okay, let's proceed now with rational exponent. Ang sabi ko po kanina sa inyo, the laws of exponent will still be applied in rational exponent. Ano-ano ba yung mga laws na yon? When multiplying power with the same base, we copy the common base and add exponents. Now, I would want to clarify something about power. Power doesn't equate actually to exponent. When we try to talk about power, kasama po yung base. Yung totality niya, base and exponent, that is what we call power. Okay? I stand corrected with that one also. So, when multiplying power with the same base, we copy the common base and add the exponents. Okay? When dividing given the same base, so when dividing given with the same base, we simply copy still the common base and we subtract their exponents. When a power is raised to another exponent, we copy the base and multiply the exponents. So nandito yung add, nandito yung subtract, nandito yung multiply. So let's proceed with multiplying rational exponents. This will be our given. Now, I would want to pay attention to the given itself dahil we have to take note of what the base of the exponent is. Ang exponent natin yung 1/2. Ang base natin is x. Just x. Ngayon, pwede magtanong, sir, ba't ang dami yung given? Dahil ganito yung ma-encounter natin in real quiz natin. Kahit po sinong teachers po natin. Okay? Ang karamihang mali ng estudyante, akala itong 1/3 nating exponent para sa lahat. That is wrong. So kung ano lang po yung malapit sa kanya, yun lang yung kanyang base. Unless we have here now a parenthesis. Okay? So in this case, the exponent 1/3 and 1/2 is for x. Simply for x. Which means, yung rest, simplify na natin. A times 3, 24. And then yung y, wala siyang kasama. Y times 1 is equal to y. So meron na tayo sa final na sagot na 24 at saka y. Now, let us focus on x and its exponents. And in particular, sa exponents tayo mag-focus, which is fraction. So 1/3, dahil nga nag-multiply tayo, we simply add plus 1/2. Ang ating LCD is 6. Again, to get yung nasa taas, we divide. 6 divided by 3 is 2 times 1, 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3 times 1, 3. We simply copy yung operation. So 2 plus 3 is equal to 5. 5 over 6. Which means the exponent of x will be 5 over 6. At dahil 5 over 6 na po yung ating exponent, all we have to do now is to join this dun po sa answer natin na may 24 at saka meron ng y. So sabi, combining it with the others that we have come up with as our final answer, we have here now 24, x 5 over 6, and y. And this is our final answer. Again, I would want to reiterate the problems that arises kapag po nagsosolve yung mga bata. Kadalasan, akala nila, ulitin ko ulit, and I'm putting emphasis on this one, yung exponent ay para po dito sa mga nandito. Especially yung ganito lang ang given, akala kasama yung 8. Hindi po ha, ito lang. Uulitin ko unless there is a parenthesis or grouping symbol. Now, dividing rational exponents. We have here now the given. The same given, 8x raised to 1/3 divided by 3x raised to 1/2 y. Now, in dividing rational exponents, in my opinion, okay? So I have written this in my opinion because some of the teachers will find this ridiculous at hindi sila sumasang-ayon. But in my opinion, it is much better to arrange it in the fraction form. Wherein ito pong ating dividend, ito po yung numerator, and yung divisor natin will be placed sa denominator. Mas mabilis kasi po nating makikita kung nasaan. Kung alin yung pwede nating i-cancel kung may whole number man yan. Okay. We will just focus with x and the rest of the given will be copied. Ayan, hindi ka na makapag-divide. 8 divided by 3. Hindi pwede. So, kukopyahin na lang natin. Yung y, kukopyahin na lang natin kasi wala siyang counterpart sa numerator. So, focus ulit tayo sa exponent ng x. 1/3 minus 1/2. Ang atin pong LCD, kagaya po kanina sa addition or sa multiplication, 6. And then we get, that is 2 minus 3. Kanina naging plus yan. So 2 minus 3, we come up with negative 1 over 6. Therefore, yung magiging sagot po natin, 8x raised to 1, 6 or negative 1, 6 over 3y. Ngayon, dun sa ating laws of exponent, kasama po yung sa negative. We do not have a negative exponent as our final answer. We do not take negative exponent as our final answer. So what we do, since we have a negative exponent, ito, we simply reallocate it to the denominator. Kagaya po nung previous discussion natin, if the one containing negative exponent is in the numerator, we simply move it to the denominator to make it positive. In like manner, if the given with a negative exponent is placed in the denominator, all we have to do now is to arrange it, put it in the numerator, and the exponent will be positive. So with that, our final answer will be, again, yung negative 1 over 6 is for x only. So kung ililipat natin siya sa ibaba, may matitira po sa itaas na 8. So that is 8 over 3x raised to 16y. This is our final answer for this one. Okay? Move tayo. Power raised to another power. So the given will be 3m raised to 2/3 n. Then the whole power is raised to 9 over 10. Now what is the thing that we have to understand with this one? Since they are all inside the grouping symbol, which in this case a parenthesis, the exponent, which exponent am I talking to? Ito, 9 over 10 is for all of the given. So yung 9 over 10 po natin para po sa lahat ng given sa loob ng parenthesis. At minumultiply natin yan. So may 1 yan, pag walang nakasulat, imumultiply natin yung 1 sa exponent. Thus, yung 3 at saka yung n dahil 1, we simply copy ito. 3 raised to 9 over 10, n raised to 9 over 10. If we notice, I separated yung x natin, yung m, kasi meron din siyang exponent, 2/3. So times, if you notice we have here now times 9 over 10. So in this example, multiplying fractions will be at play. So sabi natin, tingnan natin individually. Sir, lowest term na, we check it pa-cross. 2 at saka 10 divisible by 2. So we have here now 1, 5. 3 at saka 9 divisible by 3, 1, at saka po 3. So we have here now 3 over 5 ang magiging sagot kasi 1 times 3 is 3, 1 times 5 is 5. Focusing on m, we have here now m raised to 3/5 dito. So kung napansin po natin, it's very important for us to have a good foundation with regard to fractions. With that, our final answer will be 3 raised to 9 over 10, m raised to 3 over 5, and n raised to 9 over 10. This is our answer for this one. So just like what we have discussed last week, all we have to do now is to multiply the exponents. Basta nakaparenthesis po yan, nakagrouping symbol, sakop siya ng exponent sa labas. Okay, converting rational exponent to radical. This is one of our aim for today. If you still recall yung objective po natin. So we have here now a given 2m 2/3 raised to 2/3. Again, focus tayo. Saan po yung 2/3 natin na nag-exponent? Ano yung base niya? M lang. If you notice, the exponent is for m only. This is what I'm talking about. Which means, tanggalin mo muna sa equation yung 2, whole number na yan. Okay? So 2 times this one. M raised to 2/3. In changing rational exponent to radical, the base will serve as the radicand. Ito po yung base natin, m. Sa radical sign natin, yung nasa loob, yun yung radicand. So lalabas dito, yung m natin mamaya. Okay? The denominator of the exponent will be the index. Ano yung denominator na exponent? 3. Index. Saan natin makikita? Ayun. Yung number dito sa may buntot natin ng radical sign. So yung radical natin, which is the base, m, ayun. Dito yung index. Anong ilalagay natin sa index? Yung denominator, which is 3. Okay? And the numerator of the exponent will serve as the exponent. Yung numerator daw dito sa rational exponent natin will serve as the exponent nito lahat. Which means, ayun, cube root of m, exponent ng lahat. Exponent. Ano nga ito? Anong value? 2. Ito yung kalalabasan. So para sa m raised to 2/3, our answer will be, if we will be converting it into a radical, that is the square of cube root of m. Okay? Ito yung base. Ito yung denominator ng ating rational exponent, and this is the numerator of our rational exponent. Therefore, the final answer will be, eto baka malimutan nyo yung 2 may 2 tayo dito. So 2 times the square of cube root of m. Ayan. Pag walang sign sa pagitan, that indicates multiplication. Okay? So this is how we convert rational exponent to radical. Now, let's move on with a different setting. We have the given to radical, and then we have to convert it to rational exponent, this one. That is the cube of the square root of 24xy. Now, ano yung dapat nating mapansin? Since all the given are inside the radical sign, ito yung radical sign natin, guys. All of them will be included in the parentheses in changing this to rational exponent. Lahat yan, sabi ko sa inyo, yung nasa radicand will serve as the base. Okay? The radicand will serve as the base, the index will serve as the denominator of the exponent, and the exponent will serve as the numerator in the rational exponent. Ito yung index natin, sir, walang nakasulat. Ang tawag natin dito is square root. So automatic we have here now a 2. So we simply copy 24xy, that will serve as the base. Yung 2 denominator, yung 3 numerator ng ating rational exponent. This will be our answer. 24xy. Do not forget the parentheses indicating that this all will serve as the base. Kapag nalimutan niyo yung parenthesis lang, and most of the students sinasabi to, parenthesis lang, sign lang. Guys, kung lang yon, huwag nyong kalimutan kasi yun lang, di ba? So, ito importante ito, guys. Yung grouping symbol, siya ang nagsasabing lahat yan base. Okay? So, yun. Ayun yung exponent 3, nasa numerator. And then yung index natin, again, sa square root natin, or sa radical, pag walang nakasulat na index, 2 automatic yan. So, this will be our answer. So, again, I'm hoping that you understood yung conversion po natin ng rational exponent to radical and vice versa. Okay? Now, additional conversion para po sa atin. Ayun. 3xy raised to 2/5. Then, all of this is raised to another power, which is 1/3. So, if you will be working with that one, focus kayo sa una. Again, this is the 5th root of the square of 3xy. The square of 5th root of 3xy. Tapos, saka nyo ilalagay yung nasa labas. Pakita natin. Eto. Focus kayo. Ito yung base kasi naka-parenthesis. 3xy sa loob ng radical sign. Ito yung index, 5. Ayun. And then, ito yung exponent, 2. Wala na kayong pakialam dito sa nasa loob. Focus kayo nung sa nasa labas na. 1/3. Ito yung index, 3. Sir, lalagyan pa namin ng parenthesis at 1. Hindi na. Kasi 1 lang naman siya. Okay? So, ito po yung conversion niya. Ulitin natin yung paliwanag. Focus kayo sa loob. From inside out ang ating movement. So, lahat ng nasa loob ng parenthesis will serve as the radicand. Ito will serve as the exponent sa labas, naka-parenthesis, at yung denominator index. Palaging nandito sa ibabaw ng radical sign natin, sa tail ng radical sign natin. And then, pag okay na yan, na-double check nyo, kalimutan nyo na sa loob, focus na kayo sa exponent sa labas. 1/3. So, radical sign, denominator will serve as the index, yung 1. Sir, paano kung ito ay 2? So, naka-parenthesis ulit lahat yan, may 2. Pero dahil 1, wala na. This will be our final answer. So doing the opposite, kung given naman sa atin na ito, focus ulit tayo. Ito lahat will serve as the base. So naka-parenthesis yan, 3ABC. 1, ano nga nakalagay dito? 1/2. Tapos grouping symbol ulit, 1/4. Ito. Ulit. 3ABC, ayun. Dahil nasa loob sila ng radical sign, parenthesis. And then, walang nakasulat sa tail ng ating radical sign, that is 2. Walang parenthesis dito, that is 1. Palagi. Okay? So, na-double check na natin. Kalimutan yung nasa loob. Focus tayo sa nasa labas. 4. So, move ulit tayo. Gawa tayo ng grouping symbol. Either bracket or braces. And then, denominator is 4. Sir, wala uling parenthesis na may exponent. That is 1. It will be a different thing if meron po tayong grouping symbol dito tapos may nakalagay pang 3. So, mababago ito. Magiging 3. Okay? So I'm hoping that you understood what we're trying to teach here. Sana po naiintindihan po natin lahat. Okay? So again, if we have here now some questions, sir, medyo nalilito ang bilis ng paliwanag nyo. I would want to make it clear, kaya nabilis yung paliwanag po natin. I'm trying to shorten po yung oras para hindi kayo tamarin. Now, if there are some things and some clarifications that you want to clear it up, pwede po kayong mag-message dun sa comment section. Marireceive naman po namin, we from our team, para po masagot namin. As much as possible, kung direct lang po yung question and be respectful lang po sa mga tanong. So, we want you to learn. That is our goal. That's the reason why we're doing this. Although, hindi kami comfortable sa pagharap sa camera na ganito. So again, this is your Sir Ian saying keep on learning guys and goodbye.